Hey everyone, my name's Walter, and I'm back here with more stories I found over on Reddit. Today we'll be talking about relationship problems. I call it relationships, but it can really be any kind of relationship, not just romantic. We read from subreddits like Reddit Relationships and Am I the Asshole? I don't like long intros, so let's just begin with Relationship Nightmares from Reddit. This one comes to us from Reddit Relationships. My 40 male wife, 38 female, keeps calling me gross during arguments, even though I've asked her to stop. I've been married to her for 10 years. Our history is a mess, I'll say that much. And it's mostly on me, but I think I've grown a lot. 4 years ago, we had an argument. I was out drinking at the time. She was texting me things that were making me furious, although I was definitely participating in the fight. I ended up staying, drinking more, and making out with a woman, acquaintance of both of ours. It was stupid and immature. I didn't tell her. Well, she ended up finding out from that woman a couple of months later, and it wasn't pretty. She was beyond furious with me, and it was a year of hell within our marriage, which I understand, but 4 years ago I was pretty immature and defensive. I did it again. Unfortunately for me, I did it with a woman her male cousin was dating, who was a willing participant. We got drunk and made out. Exact same scenario. Very stupid on my part. I know people will tear me a new asshole. It caused so many issues and embarrassment for her within her family. And this time she left me for a while. We have a child, and after a lot of heartache and difficulties, she came back. So we've been back living together for just over 2 years now. I honestly feel like I've grown as a person, and I don't ever want to go through that again. I went to therapy, stopped drinking. The issues in her family still linger on. Several people in her family don't want anything to do with me. The problem, it's been over 2 years that we've been fully back together. But there's an undercurrent of resentment on her part. Not overt, but basically she's far less patient with me than she used to be. Gets upset with me over little things. Doesn't really trust me anymore, I don't think. And if we argue about that, she'll remind me why. Says she loves me but doesn't owe me anything now, meaning she's much less likely to willingly do favors for me like she used to, for example. Whereas before she'd be willing to spend a day helping me in the garage, now she will if she feels like it, but often says she'd rather not. If I'm out and forget to contact her regularly, all hell breaks loose. If a female colleague puts a heart reaction on my posts on social media, she's suspicious. If I slip up at all, she's angry immediately. When I argue with her about these things, she'll go into a tirade about how we aren't equal anymore, that I willingly screwed up and humiliated her in front of her family, and I'm gross. Stuff like that. I hate being called gross. I did horrible things, but I don't want to hear my partner call me gross. I've told her to stop, and she does until the next argument. Should I just accept this and hope it eventually goes away? Or are we too broken to continue? God, that marriage is dead as hell. If you're feeling bad about your current relationship, at least you're not in this one. People in the comments are calling him gross. You can feel free to do that in my comments if you want. Am I the asshole for kicking my mom out of my kid's party after she tried to bring my ex's son? I, 29 male, broke up with my ex-girlfriend over 5 years ago when I caught her cheating on me. We had a 7-month-old son that I learned wasn't mine after I demanded a paternity test, and so I was out of his life after that. It hurt going through all that, but what hurt the most was some people in my family being against me leaving my son. Some stopped talking to me, others I stopped talking to, like my mom, because she still wanted to accept my ex's kid like her first grandchild. So I said fine and cut contact. Last year I had my first son. We celebrated his 1-year birthday on the 1st of this month. When my girlfriend got pregnant, my mom reached out and wanted to make amends, for us to be in each other's lives. She said she hadn't had any more contact with X. I was mostly thinking for my son and that it would be nice for him to know his grandma, so I gave her a chance. On the actual day of my son's birthday, my brother saw my mom first and goes, "Oh shit." He saw her getting out of the car with my ex's kid from the window and he told me. My brother told me he had no idea she was going to bring the kid and said he'll keep her outside if I want. I went outside instead and my mom had the kid wait in the car while we talked. I was so pissed I remember yelling at her for trying to bring him to my son's birthday. My mom kept apologizing for hiding it. She just felt really bad because his real dad doesn't want to be involved. And they still have pictures of me and him from when he was a baby, so he still thinks he's my kid. It was hard not to lose any more of my cool, so I just remember saying, "Get the fuck out and don't ever come back or bring him around again." It was a whole thing, and everyone who was already there saw it play out. My mom left and my brothers were trying to cheer me up and get the party back in a happy mood for my son. Some family members were in a bad mood and they left early. The shitstorm happened after that, and they're mad for how I treated my mom. Even she's said something too about how she's hurt how much I disrespected her, and she knows it was wrong to lie, but she was really trying to make it easier on X's son by making him feel like part of the family. She really thinks I need to give him a chance because I loved him once. I just hung up on her. Still everyone's on me, calling me an a-hole for callously kicking her out for having good intentions even if they were misplaced. Am I the asshole? This OP is 100% not the asshole. First off, you have to feel sorry for the kid, but it's not the OP's fault. I find the ex really despicable for trying to get this guy to support someone else's child. She must have known it was at least likely. And some nutjob has even convinced the child that the OP's his father. But mostly he had to react this way, otherwise his mom was going to walk all over him for the rest of his natural life. She was willing to bring that kid along, just hoping he'd feel bad enough not to make a scene, and if she's willing to do it here, she's definitely going to pull something at the wedding. And every other event. I say good riddance to that bullshit. And it's really none of the extended family's business. Let them support the kid if they're so concerned. I don't usually talk that much, but that story must have annoyed the hell out of me. I led to my sister ditching her fiancé. So for context, I, 21 male, have a twin sister, 21 female, who I basically grew up with. We are incredibly close and I truly only want for her to be happy, but I'm afraid I might have gotten in the way of her happiness. For a little backstory, I'm a very petite dude, 5'6" and very bony. I've kind of been insecure about my build my whole life, but nothing serious. My sister was engaged to this buff dude, 26 male, very built and around 6'4". He treats me fine whenever my sister is there, but when she is not, he makes rude comments about my height and weight, my mannerisms, posture, etc. I kinda shut up about it and sucked it up because I didn't want my sister to be upset, but recently something happened and it was the last straw for me. He was having a huge bachelor party and for whatever reason decided to invite me. I showed up there and he and his 3 or so friends constantly laughed at me and pointed at me and some other people for the majority of the party. So when I decide to leave, I go up to congratulate him like a mature person, only for him to say, "Don't worry, little guy, once you get out of puberty, you'll find someone." I told him to go fuck himself. Later that night, while preparing food with my sister, I told her about this and every other time he has been doing things like mocking me or body blocking me, and she got furious. She called her fiancé screaming and that she'll need some time before the wedding to rethink the relationship before the wedding. Now she is crying and I feel like I ruined her chance at love. I feel like I costed my sis happiness and I don't know what to do. Yeah, as long as he only told the truth, I don't really see the problem here. I would have already taken a swing at the guy for sure, especially if I was drunk at a party. Also, from the comments, people are pretty sure he was going to be abusive just from this short story. You probably saved your sister from a miserable marriage. Her fiancé isn't a good person, and once she was locked in and pregnant or with a newborn, that would start to make itself apparent to her, with her as the new target. He knew you were close and resented that. It's threatening to people like that. If he could alienate you from her, he can trim down her support network bit by bit. Yeah, I mean, she left him because she found out what kind of a person he really was, so good. And finally, let's cover one that's a little funnier. At least it is to me. I can only assume Maddox wrote this one. Am I the buttface for popping off on my friend because he called me a cuck? I have this thing with my girlfriend where I like to watch her with other guys and flirt with them. Not having sex or even kissing, but like, I'll let her really grind up on a dude at a party, or give a guy a lap dance, or flirt with another guy and let her verbally drool over a guy she thinks is hot to me. I think it's just hot to watch it. It makes me jealous at the same time, which in turn makes for some amazing sex afterwards. My girlfriend and I are cool with this. My issue came when my friends saw this. We went to this big party at this guy's house that we got invited over by one of my girlfriend's friends. So we're having fun and I let my girlfriend grind up on this guy. I leave her there for a bit while I go get some drinks. On my way back, my friend Kay, who I had no idea was going to be at this place, ran up to me. He said, "Dude, I've been looking all over for you. Your girlfriend is grinding her ass all up on some guy's dick back there. Fuck, man, I thought she was a great girl, but she's pulling some shit like this. Come on, man, let me help you go handle this." I tell him to chill out, and I tell him embarrassingly that it's all cool because I like when my girlfriend does stuff like this, and that I know she is doing this because I let her do it. He looked at me like he was very puzzled. After a second he said, "Holy shit, man, are you a fucking cuck?" I'm not a cuck, and this very clearly made me angry, so I said, "No, I'm not a fucking cuck. I don't let her fuck other guys. I just like watching her do stuff like this, so don't call me that, dumbass." He said, "No, bro, if you like watching a girl do shit like this, then you are definitely a cuck. I never thought you would be the type." So I told him to go fuck himself and said that he's just mad because my girlfriend is badder than all the girls he's been with out together. Not really sure if it was a good insult, but I was embarrassed and angry, and that's all I could think of saying. I left the party soon after with my girlfriend and told her what happened, and she said Kay was a total dick. Was he? Or am I the butt face for going off on him like that, because of what he said? Edit. Fuck all of you saying I'm a cuck. She doesn't actually fuck or even kiss other guys. You all have no idea what you're talking about. Yes, that was an ill-advised post. Make sure to let me know what you think about the story. Reddit sure let this guy know what they thought. Anyway, that's about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say about these stories, or the content, or your life in general, let me hear it in the comments. I do read those. If you're new here, subscribe for more of the same kind of content. Also, big thanks to my generous patrons who help me out by supporting me more directly over on Patreon. I'd like to mention I also made a new Discord. I'll be there posting about whatever I'm working on, so feel free to say hi if you want to for some reason. Well, have a great day, everyone, and don't let your family push you around. Was that our theme today? It's good advice.